Yo, good evening, good people. Y'all know what time it is, baby. It's AA Sports, straight sports, no chaser. You got the super team of sports talk here with y'all on one half of it. They call me Diego Barishnikov, the Black Dominican Russian. And I'm checking in, as always, with my main man, my partner in crime, the 6 foot and under post-up champ out of Hickory, North Carolina. Tell them where you from.
What's good people? It's your boy Uncle Hate, the other A and AA Sports, broadcasting live here on a Wednesday. We are to the end of these division breakdowns. Turn up. What's good?
Absolutely. That lets us know it is time for some real football. Come almost this time next week, next Thursday. We got the kickoff game. Who even playing?
Next week.
I don't know. I know it ain't the two people that played in the Super Bowl, so I know that much. I want to say the Patriots probably.
Green Bay and Chicago? It might be Green Bay and Chicago.
Okay. I know they play week 1, so it's either the Thursday night game or maybe the opening Sunday night game. Maybe they play. But
we might want to know that next week. So we'll be picking next week, so we definitely gonna know next week. So.
Yeah, it's all good. And you are absolutely correct. Packers and the Bears. So they do kick off the season next Thursday at Soldier Field. Should be a good one. But without further ado, good people. We ain't forgot about y'all. We want to let y'all know how much we appreciate y'all tuning in. As always, this is episode 184 or 5, one of the two. NFC South, NFC West breakdowns tonight. We got some other news and notes that we actually going to start off with here in a moment. But again, as always, man, y'all continue to watch, hit those subscribe buttons. If you're watching either on the YouTube channel or whether you decide to listen if you're on the go a lot, whether it's the podcast platform via Apple iTunes or Spreaker. Again, same routine. Y'all know what it is. We appreciate that. Let's get right on.
The ones that y'all watching, my man on here looking like a quality control coach. He got the polo on and everything.
I gotta get my way in the door, man. I gotta get my way in the door. Yeah, because I wanted to wear the coach shirt because I'm looking at this team from a coaching standpoint and try not to look at it from solely a fan standpoint because that's where you start getting a little lost and being unreasonable. Yeah. Unrealistic. So it's definitely gonna be a little bit of that. You know, I'm gonna say some outrageous shit. But
coming into this Monday, you feel better about your quarterback situation than I came in feeling about mine. You was a bit iffy. You know, it was some word in the street last week about yours, but this week I'm coming in like,
Oh yeah, because Cam had the extra injury. Yeah, so we definitely gonna get into that. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jumpstart the show off.
Yes,
y'all know what we're getting ready to start with. The major news dropped over the weekend. Andrew Luck said he tired of getting hit, and he's finna chill. He retired. Abruptly.
8 o'clock Saturday night, right? Give or take.
Yeah, in the middle of their preseason game. Of course, there's been a lot of talk about the fan backlash and the fans booing and whatnot. I'm not even going to front. I ain't saying I condone it, but I understand. You get some news like that in the middle of a preseason game, and you've been waiting for him to come back, right. And that's the news that dropped 2 weeks before the season start. And you got a young team that's got a Super Bowl window that was pretty wide open.
Yes.
So I can understand the knee jerk reaction because I was sitting on the couch. And you know how you see the information come up on the ticker in red. Breaking news, and I caught the back end of it, so I didn't see the whole thing. So I'm figuring they was getting ready to say Luck on the pup list or something like that.
Right.
I pulled up the internet and it was something totally different. So, what's your thoughts on the fan reaction, the move that Luck made? What does this put the Colts going forward, et cetera, et cetera?
What we've been saying the last 3-4 weeks on this show, none of this shit sounds right. He ain't really practiced. Since March, give or take?
March or April.
Somewhere around there. And the season starts next Sunday. And the GM came out last week, if I'm not mistaken, and said, okay, it's not the calf, now it's a high ankle. My question is, why Big Jim ain't fired everybody in that training department? Because clearly they misdiagnosed something. Because the fans are mad. Yes, they should be upset, but we don't know what he's really hurt from right now. We really don't know.
Right, and even with the injury, the way it seems to be moving around, are they misdiagnosing? Were they misdiagnosing it? We might as well just use it in past tense now because he at the crib.
Yeah.
Were they misdiagnosing it? Were they purposely not putting out the accurate information, or was each injury actually leading to the next injury?
Right.
Because he was still working out. He was still, doing throwing sessions and stuff. So he was still on it and moving. So I wonder if him maybe sometimes you overcompensate for one injury, it causes another.
Yeah.
And it could have been a little bit of that too. But it's going to be a mystery. Maybe one day he'll write a book and we'll find out.
If it was something small, I think he would have went on the pup. But if it's a lower leg right now, and he's saying, I've been dealing with this, rehab and recovery and pain for 4 years.
Yeah.
I don't see him coming back. It kind of makes sense as far as, Jacoby Brissett sitting there. I guess my thing is this team, like you just said, that window is right there. A lot of cats walk away. What's that, Calvin Johnson? Y'all weren't necessarily right there to win when Patrick Willis walked away. It's another one too. Barry Sanders wasn't close.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of cats leave when ain't no hope. They kind of got hope in Indianapolis. So
I think we may have. We was probably on the backside of ours because we had went to the NFC Championship, then the Super Bowl, and then lost to Seattle in the NFC Championship game up there in Seattle, and then he got hurt the following season, and then it just snowballed from there. Everybody started getting hurt, all the big players. You know what I'm saying? So, but
it's rare you see somebody where they're supposed to win. They're like a favorite in some cases to walk away. So.
Yeah, it would be like, even if they didn't get all the way to an AFC Championship or a Super Bowl this year, next year they definitely would have probably been in the top 3 of people's preseason predictions just for the upward trend, that they were on.
And as a player, my last game, I don't think I could have walked away after we got our ass kicked by Kansas City like that. But so he had to be in real pain for that to be his last game. He had to be.
Yeah, I mean, he walks away from about $60 million.
You saw what Big Jim said. He left $500 million on the table.
So where's he getting this $500 million number from?
I'm thinking the next deal and what was left, because, he was like, a lot of people don't walk away from that money. By that time, it probably would have been $40 million when he got that next deal. 40, maybe 45.
Yeah, I mean, he's just going to give him, 200 probably?
So I guess they're counting the rest. Well, how much was left on this last deal? Because I know they didn't take no money back. So
I want to say maybe
Jim be talking. He be on the deal. So.
I would say the number just sounded inflated because I heard somebody on a hip hop show report that number, and I'm like, okay. And then this is a station that's notorious for having people do their sports that don't know shit about sports, and it's always wrong information. And I'm like, I need to call them. But so I thought there was just something bogus. But yeah, $500 million. That's probably a reach.
That's a reach. Yeah,
because he doesn't.
That deal might have been $250 maybe by the time he got to it. Because Mahomes gonna see $100.
Right. Even if you try to throw endorsements in there, I don't recall seeing Andrew Luck's face on TV a whole lot.
Yeah.
He kind of got a goofy look, and he kind of got a goofy personality to an extent. So I didn't see that really being him. But hell, he done made $100 million already, so he should be fine. It could be fine.
Yeah, he still got a flip. As far as the team, I mean, they set up to move forward. I keep hearing, I put on these notes, everybody been saying this is Ryan Grigson's fault. Ryan Grigson sucked. I ain't saying he did. But three of the starters on this offensive line, he drafted. So, this vaunted offensive line that they're talking about that's been protecting him the last couple of years, 3 of them he drafted. So, Andrew Luck held on to the ball a lot. He held on.
Well, I'm looking at it because that kind of goes into where I wanted to ask what's your feelings about Big Jim and the Colts letting him keep the bonus money. To me, I think that was the right thing to do because to me, they actually helped create this mess, getting that man killed. Yeah, they didn't have a good line the last year or two,
Year or
But
two.
but before that line was straight trash,
Yes, it was.
and no running game. And, and Luck was still out there trying to win and winning 10 games. So to me, if they protect him from the start of his career, like they have the last year and a half or so, I don't think those injuries pile up. And yeah.
Hey, cuz I ain't playing football and getting my kidney lacerated. And I'm internally bleeding, pissing blood. They didn't protect him enough. They didn't. So he walked. It was surprising because they were really supposed to be something this year, but we talked about this a couple years ago. It might start trending that way. It's kind of next on these notes, but you saw Gronk's comments in regards to how much he hurt after winning the Super Bowl. If you got $200 million in the bank, you ain't got to take that shit. This ain't the 80s.
Exactly.
They ain't bank real money back then. You got real money now.
and I remember when that year Patrick Willis retired, I was like, we gonna keep an eye on this and see if bigger names start to hang these fucking cleats up earlier. And lo and behold, we starting to see it a little bit more and more. And when Patrick Willis retired, I was like, really, it's a fucking toe. He was like, man,
right? Same age, wasn't he? Somewhere around there.
Yeah, he wasn't. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, he wasn't 30 yet.
Yeah.
But hey man, people are getting smart about taking care of their bodies. They understand football is not long term anyway. They look at how the team looks at them. It's basically meat. You know what I'm saying? So I don't blame these boys, man. Get in there, get you a big deal. Your rookie deal, get you another big deal. Bonk out on them hoes.
Ain't shit sexy about being 50 years old, not knowing your name and can't move.
You know what I'm saying? And Andrew Luck, yeah, he walked away from whatever the hundreds of millions or whatever it is projected to be. End of the day, that man gonna know his name. He can tie his shoes when he's 60 and he got $100 million.
Absolutely. And he did 7 years, so don't that get you like healthcare going forward?
That's a good question. Last question on this before we move on.
Yeah.
He's not Hall of Fame, right? I don't think so either.
That's why I need to look at Troy Aikman's numbers. I think Troy Aikman is that quarterback that got in the Super Bowls, yeah. But you look at the numbers.
I think that's what ended up putting Aikman in is 3 Super Bowls.
Yep.
3 Super Bowls. I can't. I see. Look, I mean, he's a Hall of Fame talent, but I don't think he's worthy of getting in the Hall of Fame just for the shortness of the career. I think.
What?
Well, I can't really. I can't say that.
7 years ain't a long time though, cuz. Well, Gale Sayers got in, but
I mean,
he died.
It is. It is, but it ain't. I mean, if we start to look at people hanging them up and looking at down the road, people ain't playing. People not playing 10, 12, 13 years no more.
Mm-mm.
So,
But quarterback at 29, because he had at least 12 years left. At quarterback?
I mean, if he wanted to play that long, yeah, you're right.
So, yeah, he could have really went there with that in that regard.
It's gonna be tough for him because he is a quarterback. Now, I mean, I look at somebody like Patrick Willis. I think he played maybe 8 or 9 seasons.
Yeah.
And I think he should be first ballot. He may not be first ballot, but he should be no later in the second ballot. He had a shortened career, but he was some. I know for a little stretch they're considered the best linebacker in the game. It was him or somebody else, maybe another couple years. So, we'll see. I don't think he's going to get in initially. It might take him a little while, but 7 years at quarterback, no 7 years at quarterback, no Super Bowls. I don't know. Can't see it.
I think players look at this different because they really had a chance to win. And this last injury was lower leg. It's not his shoulder. It ain't concussion. You know what I'm saying? You can come back probably Thanksgiving. And that's on the late side. Hell, he was saying 2 weeks ago he's going to be ready week 1. So, I ain't mad at the homie for walking away. It is what it is, but I don't know about Hall of Fame. Let's run through these last few.
You know what? And the writers just may go. The writers vote on the Hall of Fame, so they just might be sympathetic, and you never know how they might how that vote might go.
Hey, I'm saying if he get in, Chunky Suit better get in too.
Chunky, McNabb.
I bet their numbers the same. We ain't got time to pull. I bet their numbers the same.
I don't care about numbers.
You know that's the Hall of Fame, though.
No, yeah, it's numbers, but it's also winning, and they look at winning more than numbers. Unless you like Dan Marino.
Let me see. Because what?
When I say winning, I'm talking about the big one.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
To a Super Bowl. Did Luck made a conference finals, right?
He made it.
Conference finals, wasn't it?
Right.
Okay, so
yeah,
I bet that number's somewhere. I'm gonna pull that up for next week.
Yeah, I mean that guy, he got good numbers, but you look at all those good teams, and some of that was on Andy Reid too. As far as them not getting to the next step and winning the big thing, and then they finally get to the Super Bowl. What did Donovan do?
He should have worked that shit out with T.O.
Motherfucker got tired. Motherfucker got tired.
Yeah, he did. All right, Lamar Miller tore his ACL for the the Texans against Dallas last week. He had a good year last year, and they got to figure that shit out, boy. Why was I sitting there thinking at the time he got hurt? So they cut Deontay Foreman. He signed with the Colts. Yep. He got cut that same day that Lamar Miller gets hurt. You think they're going to make a call, bring him back? They need a back at this point.
Wait a minute. So Deontay Foreman got cut already?
He got cut already from the Colts. The same day he got hurt, he got cut.
Yeah, something's going on with that young man, and it's not good then.
Yeah, so he's out for the year. We're going to see what happens. The starting center for the Patriots, David Andrews, has blood clots in his lungs. He might be out for the year. This seems like a big story, but at the same time, the way the Colts move, that's next man up all day long. So they'll figure out a way.
But backup starting centers are they hard to come by. So you get a good one. Sometimes the backup serviceable depending on who it is. Sometimes it's a mess. And when you talk about the best way, and this is not just last year or any one year in particular, whenever people have beat the Patriots, they've come with pressure up the middle. Well, they've been able to get to them up the middle. That could be very big.
That's troublesome this late in the season, but we wish that man well. Take the sports out of it. We wish him well. The Falcons said Julio's deal will be done by the start of the season, so that means Julio Jones gonna get a whole lot of money by next Sunday.
I'm starting to get skeptical. I know they keep saying it seems like for 2 months now it's we getting it done soon.
They broke ground on this apartment complex out here that his name is all over. So Julio wants bread. So that's gonna happen. And that's gonna if the GM's coming out saying it, I believe it's gonna happen. I mean, they got a week now. So
at this point, I guess what I really wanted, I just want them to stop talking about it and just do it, because I didn't heard enough from Dimitrov and Arthur Blank about how they want Julio. The deal gonna get done. Gonna get done. Enough with the press releases about the deal gonna get done. Release the press release that says Julio Jones is signed for 4 years, 100 and whatever million it's gonna be.
The table's already been set. We know what Mike Thomas got, so they really could have did this 2 weeks ago. So we'll see what happens in the next week.
Man, they may be waiting to see who they're going to cut and trim off the roster salary, because they up against the cap a little bit, I believe. So they got to kind of do some. You think Sanu will get cut?
Sanu makes $7.5 million. Calvin Ridley kind of took his spot last year. They can't get somebody for the low to play that.
I like Ridley in the slot, man. I like Ridley in the slot
too, but 7.5. Julio need that bread. And that's not a lot of money wide receiver wise, but they need every dollar they can.
I think they need Sanu. They're another team they starting to get on maybe the back end of that Super Bowl window if it's there. I think they need to keep him.
Yeah, so they'll figure out a way. That just means all them hammers and shit going up at Home Depot. What else we got? Dallas, their most recent offer came in between 13.1 and 14.3. So he's going to make more than Lev, but slightly less than Todd Gurley. This is for Zeke to come into camp. I hit you the other day like, well, why don't they just move some money around with the offensive lineman to get him in camp? Because if we were talking about $1 million, $2 million, why are they playing around? Why are they bullshitting with him? That Todd Gurley deal is that's an outlier. Let's look past that. I felt like Zeke should take this deal, but we're talking about it's not. I don't even think this is the full $1 million they're fucking with right now. Give that man this money, bring him in camp.
Yeah, it's at this point, you're looking at both sides, because
We don't know the
I
guarantee.
don't we don't know the guarantees. But I don't think this would be as much of an issue if Todd Gurley Knee wasn't having arthritis and the problems that he's had out of that since
Right,
he's
right,
got his money.
right.
And then you look at Zeke's off the field incident, so you got to factor that in. But that number was it? You said 13 and a half, 14.3, so on. Yeah.
He'd be right over Lev, but right under Todd. I kind of feel like he
I
should.
mean, I I think each side should give up 500,000 and meet in the middle.
Yeah. Real quick about Zeke. Does Zeke fall in that category we had for Jameis Winston the other couple years ago? Well, remember we was like, Jameis is like, that's mischief. It's not like criminal shit. It's mischief. It kind of feels like Zeke is on that mischief.
Hold on, man. See, Zeke, too much of Zeke stuff involved. Well, and this was I had to catch myself because they say he didn't do anything wrong with that girl.
Yeah.
But I almost went with the narrative of what the media was reporting.
Yeah.
And if you just ask somebody off rip, they probably think he did something. He laid hands, but he didn't. Now, this incident he had in Vegas with the security guard.
That's mischief.
It's as someone who's been probably had maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 too many drinks at one point.
Yeah.
I can understand how some things could go left.
Yeah.
So yeah, he shouldn't have pushed the young man and everything, but he was clearly loaded. I'm sorry, I kind of give him a pass on that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If we're really looking at it, that shit ain't that far off from Jameis's wild shit. It's kind of like right above mischief. It ain't wild. He's wild. Don't get me wrong.
He's wild. He's wild animal status. He's definitely wild animal status. You know what? No, and speaking of women, you remember Jameis groped the chick in the Uber. So no, we can't put him in the mischief category
anymore. That came after. My bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
He caught the game.
So they about the same.
They about the same.
They about the same.
They not Vontaze Burfict.
Right.
They're right outside of that.
They're right outside of that.
They're gonna get that shit done. I think Zeke will be there by next Tuesday with real money. All right, let's keep it moving. Big Ben came out, took responsibility, said that it was his fault that AB and him fell apart. And AB came out and said, we was never friends, homie. Shut up. I'm good with that. I'm good with that.
I mean, the only time I want to hear Big Ben and AB's mouth in the same sentence is if they're getting ready to go in the locker room and have 5 minutes with each other.
Just lock up.
They need to lock up and just fight. Otherwise, they just look like two girls going back and forth on social media.
Who makes it out the room if they lock up?
I know Ben got the size, but Antonio Brown from Liberty City. I'm gonna roll with that all day.
Let's keep it moving.
I'm gonna roll with that all day.
With this helmet apparently appears to be over because AB, like we kind of figured he should have did a long time ago, got with a new company to make a helmet, and he got an endorsement deal behind it, which means business is booming still.
Business is still booming. Ain't that some shit?
I mean, he tied up Hard Knocks for 4 goddamn weeks with this foolishness.
2 grievances. I wonder whose grievances got pushed back so they can expedite his request.
Hey, this is me being Troy Vincent. He had this shit again. Keep it moving. Next up, Kari Lloyd, the young lady the woman who played for the U.S. Women's National Team, said that some teams stepped to her about kicking field goals in the preseason. Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't think it would. She said that they were at her like kicking this week. That's novelty. I wouldn't have took that shit either. If I'm her,
I just about to say it sounds like a gimmick.
Yeah. Now next year, if she wants to come try, cool. But yeah, come on in. We can have you kicking Thursday. No.
Yeah, in the last preseason game.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, now, I guess it would be a step, another step, into getting women more into football. But I don't think on the player side of things, coaches, officials, all that's fine and dandy, but we got a lot of grown men out here that can't take hits from these grown ass men out here.
And kickers do get hit.
Kickers get blown up from time to time.
So
you know,
I guess that's my concern. But if she want to try, hey, rock on.
Yeah.
All right. Last story. ESPN did a projection for players this coming year, the top 100. Dak didn't make the list. At some point, man, they just hating on Dak to be hating. You telling me he's not one of the top 100 players going projection-wise going into this year?
So he didn't make this was a list of analysts, right?
Yeah, analysts.
Who did this? Okay,
he didn't make the NFL.com list or the ESPN list.
I'm saying NFL.com is players, right?
That's players.
Okay, so you got players and experts. Neither one of them put them in this top 100.
You know what Stephen Jones is doing with negotiations.
Well, Dak, the data that we've ran, your constituents. Hey,
Stephen might just turn the laptop around like, show me where you are in the top 100, and you want $40 million.
Now that would be some shit. Everybody talked about Kirk Cousins getting all that money when he got it. He's in the top 100, ain't he?
Yeah, he made it.
Yeah, barely, but he made it. Okay.
Jared Goff was 48.
That is okay.
That's suspect.
Very suspect.
Now, Cam was in the 90s. I'm good with that. But Jared Goff at 48? Did motherfuckers watch the playoffs?
Cam was where?
He was in the 90s.
Oh, that's disrespectful.
I mean, yeah, but we're going off of they're projecting for 19. He got hurt last week.
I got you. Okay.
Shoulder.
I got you.
Jared Goff is plumb healthy coming off them playoffs, and he didn't do shit. That's suspect. His contract's gonna be interesting, dog. Interesting.
Very.
Let's go to the South. Last thing, Dwight Howard made the Lakers. I think he's gonna be all right. We're gonna see what happens, and we can leave that last topic for a couple of weeks. So,
talking about Dwight Howard?
Yeah. Dwight made the Lakers, and this last thing, the insiders for the NBA basically said Giannis is gonna win the MVP, and the Clippers are gonna win the title. We kind of expect Zion to win Rookie of the Year. They've been saying that, but I guess I don't see how they just flat out gonna say Giannis off top. That was last year.
I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Now, what were you saying? I heard basketball. What's going on?
Nah, just Dwight Howard made the Lakers, and the insiders made their picks for the NBA.
Oh, okay, I got you. MVP, Giannis, Rookie of the Year, Zion, title the Clippers. Okay, all those just sound really, really, really trendy.
Yeah, we don't know Giannis is gonna win MVP again. Y'all gonna keep hating on that boy from Akron. Keep on.
Yeah, all those picks seem trendy, but they could all vary. It could be a clean sweep. That could be right, or they could all three be wrong.
All it takes is an injury.
Yeah.
Ready to get to work?
Let's get it.
Like real work. We can keep it on the same page so we can stay in the NFC West. All right,
cool.
Last year the Rams, they went 13-3. Seattle went 10-6. Your 49ers went 4-12, and the Cardinals brought up the rear at 3-13. Let's start at the top. I said it before the camera started rolling. The Rams are predicted to win the division, but ain't nobody picking them outright like last year. It seems like a bit of that. Is it the Todd Gurley injury that's kind of knocked some of the luster off of them? They still got Aaron Donald. They still got most of the playmakers. What is it that got people not saying they going to the Super Bowl outright again?
Maybe because of the way they got out-coached and outplayed in the Super Bowl. Because outside of that, I've really only heard a few people say Seattle, could win the division. I haven't heard people saying that we would win, and definitely not the Cardinals. So I think the consensus is still the Rams, but it's not runaway like it was last year and just an afterthought. Yeah, because part of it is the hangover from last year's Super Bowl, and then the Todd Gurley injury definitely.
All right, so they let Sue walk. They let Roger Saffold. They let LaMarcus join the league. They had to let him leave.
Yeah, he had been
That's
franchised like 7 times.
yeah. So if we're honest, this might be the last year of their Super Bowl window. They got to pay Golf next summer, don't they?
Give it, yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah.
Because they just paid Carson Wentz. They're the same draft, so they got to pay Golf. So
Yeah, they got to pay him, but if they don't win the Super Bowl this year, they got some cats that's gonna be rolling off of that payroll come next season.
what's that boy?
Talib,
Talib.
he won't be there after this year. I'm pretty sure.
They still haven't paid Marcus Peters yet. I don't think.
He's probably on a trial. You know what I'm saying?
And I don't blame him.
You know, they do get Cooper Kupp back this year. Now that was a big part of what kind of stalled their offense to me last year. After he went out, they was a totally different team. So if he's healthy, he think he is, he should be back in the lineup. And if Todd Gurley, he ain't got to be the Todd Gurley that we saw those first couple of years, but if he can just stay healthy and produce 1,500 yards, then the Rams they're gonna have a potent offense
They're
again.
gonna be right there. Just take his touches down from 25 to 17, 16, 17. Let somebody else eat a little bit, and you'll be fine. You know, I said it the last little segment. I'm really interested to see what Goff's contract gonna be. I'm really interested because it's coming up. They're gonna, the table's being set. He's sitting back waiting on that. I can't talk about Jameson them because they got to prove it this year. But
I don't think it's a given that just because he get paid that he's got to be slotted in the highest paid slot. I don't think that's a given at all.
Balls. Yes, you're right, and it shouldn't be that way. But his agent gonna ask for it. You know that.
I mean, he can ask for it, but yeah, like I say it's got to be a mix of the talent in there too. I mean, we looking at Dak, so I guess you can say he probably in the same boat. So like you're right. Who knows?
Is he better than Dak?
Yeah.
Okay. So if Dak get 36, he gonna want 37. But we gonna see. Clay Matthews is there. Eric Weddle is there. I think they loaded up with veterans to try to make that run this year. But the offense got to do their part going forward. I mean, they, like you said, they got out-coached in the Super Bowl. They got out-coached. So let's jump on to these Seattle Seahawks. Russell Wilson got paid last year. The last remnants of the Legion of Boom is gone.
Right.
Earl Thomas is gone. That middle finger getting taken off the field was the last piece of the Legion of Boom. But they're here. They made the playoffs last year. 18th in offense, 16th in defense. They're right there in the middle. What are you expecting from Seattle this year?
I really don't know. Because they had a real good running attack last year, but it was like a 2 or 3-headed running attack. I know Carson's still there. He's probably going to carry the load more than likely. So that should be fine. I'm worried about the receiving corps. Doug Baldwin has retired. DK Metcalf is on the shelf right now after having some type of surgery.
They say he's running today.
Okay.
That's crazy. He got surgery like a week ago.
Well, he probably just got a scope.
Okay.
Yeah, he probably got something minor. And then there's another receiver that went out over the weekend, I think. So, DK's out there running, but, people still got some question marks about him. Even when he's fully healthy, they still got some question marks about whether he can get open consistently at this level.
They had all summer long to address this offensive line, and going into 2019, Pro Football Focus got that line ranked at 23rd. Now, Russell been pirouetting and running for his life, last 3-4 years, give or take?
Right. And
they still ranked 23rd in offensive line.
They had too much money on defense. So now, maybe now we start to see that go a different direction. I think they drafted a couple cats this year, so we'll see how that goes. They got Mikey Patio last.
Yeah, he played for y'all 100 years ago, didn't he?
Yeah.
Wow. They got Ziggy Ansah on a 1-year deal. We're gonna see how that goes. But Frank Clark's gone, and word in the street, Jadeveon Clowney's trying to get up there. Why not?
Oh, it's there now. It's been Philly. It's been what's the other thing?
Well, they said his top 2 choices are Philly and Seattle. He'd be a damn fool to go to Miami. That's where you go for your career to die.
Yeah.
have we ever seen a sports franchise that ain't been able to recover since a player left like that? Miami's on that same level with the Chicago Bulls. They ain't been shit since Dan Marino left.
Yeah.
Like that's tough right there.
Well, the Bulls had those runs with Derrick Rose and Noah and all them. They did have those runs.
Yeah, so it ain't as bad as the Dolphins. All right, let's get to your people. San Francisco 49ers. They went 4-12 last year. But one thing y'all got going on this year, oh man, these notes are off. Yeah, those are off. Y'all got hope. Y'all got hope going into this year. Disregard them notes. You're gonna have to go off the top of your head. I fucked up.
No problem.
Yeah, so tell me what's good. What's gonna happen this year? Jimmy G's healthy? What's gonna happen?
We're going 9-7. Give or take. I think we should challenge for a wild card spot. And if things start to derail in LA, we'll be looking at division. I think we got a lot of speed on offense, even though Jerick McKinnon has had another setback. He just can't get that knee right. We still got he had a setback. So I don't know if he's going on PUP list or what, but he's yet to see any action at all, really, in the training camp. So we'll see how that goes. We got a lot of other speed. The receivers, of course, they're going to have to grow. They're young and unproven. The defense, I think, is getting better. But that defensive line is what I'm interested in seeing between DeForest Buckner, Eric Armstead, and two ends, Nick Bosa, and what's the boy that stayed outside? D Ford. I think our defensive line should be a beast. Even the backups played pretty good during preseason.
Is Bosa? He's right.
I mean, he's got an ankle sprain. I mean, at some point, he should be okay.
Okay. All the hype I've been hearing is about your wide receivers that y'all drafted in the second and third round. Deebo Samuel, Jalen Hurd. We hear about them, but tell me about Dante Pettis. Tell me about him. What you
Coach is still saying he needs to find a role. Dante Pettis is still got to find a role. He's sound like he's been inconsistent in practice from what I've kind of been reading, but he's got some speed. I like the boy Jalen Hurd. What he's shown. Yes, he was showing to get second and third stringers in preseason, but I think he got some. I think he got some upside. But our whole receiving core is really kind of iffy.
All right, y'all did get a cornerback from San Diego last year. It was coming off of a Achilles or ACL.
ACL, I believe. Jason Barrett.
He was solid with the Chargers before he got hurt, and I expect Sherm to be better this year. Because it's the second year off of his Achilles. So
Sherm spoke about that last week. He said he feel good. He don't feel like he felt last year because he's gotten the rest of the staples and everything out of the removed. So he said he ready to go. He said his speed back the way it should be. His agility. He said still times last year he was playing in pain and still couldn't cut like he wanted to cut and what have you. And so he still ranked out pretty good.
Sherm's 31 or so.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Oh, yeah, that's solid. All right, let's get to this last team. These Arizona Cardinals. Cliff Kingsbury. You got they took Kyler Murray #1 after taking Josh Rosen top 10 the year before. We don't expect them to even challenge for y'all division, but what do you see for the Cardinals?
4 or 5 games, probably. That offensive line is still garbage. Another team who can't do anything with their offensive line. They got David Johnson. They're going to have to run him into the ground. I don't see good things for the Arizona Cardinals.
I don't see a lot of good things either, and we can save some time by moving forward. You say 4 to 5 wins? They won 3 last year?
Yeah, 4 to 5 wins,
2 wins is an improvement, so turn up.
We'll see how, Kingsbury bringing this college as air raid offense into the pros. It could have some success, But if it do, a la the Wildcat and some other things, it'll be short lived.
They was on his ass week 2 of the preseason. They was on him.
Yeah.
You know, he had a better week last week, but man, I know you shouldn't sit there and he's small, dog. Kyler Murray is a small dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean they're gonna have to get him on the edge like all the time.
Because they were batting a lot of his balls down in Minnesota last week. A lot of them.
Right, and then you combine that with a weak offensive line. I mean, that means you got to get rid of it quick, and you ain't tall.
Yeah.
That's not gonna be a good combination. Sorry.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the NFC South. Last week, Jen. The Saints went 13-3 last year. The Falcons went 7-9. The Carolina Panthers went 7-9, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers went 5-11. Let's jump into these Saints. They got their heart broke 2 years in a row, basically. 2 years in a row, because the Minnesota Miracle they should have won, and last year wasn't the Minnesota Miracle. What happened to them last year? I can't remember. Was it the year before last?
Last year, Minnesota, did they make the playoffs?
They made the playoffs. Remember, they got knocked out on some foolishness. I'm trying to think. The year before last was the Minnesota Miracle. Something happened last year. I can't recall, but they got their heart broke basically in the playoffs twice.
Who'd they lose to? The Saints? No, they didn't lose to the Saints. Not last year.
Not last year. They didn't lose. Was it Chicago?
Must have been. I don't know.
Yeah, but they lost 2 years in a row when they felt like they should have moved forward. No, shit, the Rams. They got that game took from them last year.
Okay.
That offensive penalty when old boy got knocked out of bounds and that penalty wasn't called on him. So the Rams basically stole that from him. Well, I mean, you know.
Okay, right.
So 2 years in a row, they felt like they should have moved forward, but it didn't happen. Drew Brees.
Oh, you're talking about the Saints, Minnesota? Okay, I'm tripping. I ain't even. I'm all over the place. I'm thinking about Minnesota. Like Minnesota made the playoffs last year.
No, they did.
We're talking about the Saints, though.
Yeah, the Saints.
We're talking about the Saints.
Minnesota got them the year before last.
Last year was the Rams in the pass interference call.
Yeah, so 2 years they feel like they done got robbed.
Well, yeah, I will take that back because I think I just agreed that they got that game stole from them. They still had an opportunity to win.
They got the ball in overtime. They could have won that game. So
and I think you should have been running the ball anyway on that pass attempt. The pass interference wasn't called. I think that should have been a run anyway.
All they needed was a field goal, right?
Exactly, to seal it. So even after the non-call and they kicked I think they still kicked the field goal.
Well, they kicked the field goal to send it to overtime.
They would have been running more time. That's what it was. They still kicked the field goal, but it was more time than what should have been if they had to run the ball. And they still had a chance to stop LA on the drive to tie the game before it went to overtime. They didn't stop them. They come out with the ball first in overtime, and Brees throws an interception, and then they had a chance to stop them again. Didn't stop them.
Funny how they forget all about that. Like all that shit that happened after that pass interference, they forget all about it. That interception, that duck he threw, that just floated in the air.
He got hit. He got hit. So the reason for the duck, he did get hit right as he was throwing it.
True. He did get hit, but they had opportunities. It didn't work out. How many years you think Brees got left?
This one.
Okay, good. So this is it. This is it.
Hey, man, we saw that arm start to die a little bit toward the end of last year.
Right. He started leaning on that running game, which you should at that age. You should lean on the running game. Mark Ingram's gone. He's gone. Offense was 8th. Defense was 14th. It was right there.
Yeah, they really were.
So, what's up?
No, I'm listening.
Okay, cool. All right. I guess this year I'm not feeling that they're going to run away with this division the way folks say they are. 74% passing for Drew Brees. He was probably throwing checkdowns. He wasn't throwing the ball down the damn field like that.
Yeah, I mean, outside of throwing at the Michael Thomas and Kamara, they didn't have because Ted Ginn was out a good part of last year, I believe, so they didn't really have the down the field threat. Because people were wondering, myself included, how is Michael Thomas catching all these balls when everybody knows that the ball coming to Michael Thomas?
They knew the ball was going to him.
Yeah.
Where's some dude named Traquan Thomas was number 2 with them. No, Traquan Smith was number 2 with 28 balls. That was the second leading receiver. Now, of course, Kamara caught more balls. He's a running back. Their second receiver only caught 28 balls. So you knew the ball was going to Michael Thomas, and you still couldn't do shit about it.
Right. Nothing. So, but the Saints gonna be right there again. I myself don't. I wish if I were them, I would have kept Mark Ingram. I'm Latavius Murray. I'm not a huge fan.
Trash. He always gets hurt.
I'm not a huge fan of. He's never healthy. Mark Ingram. Yeah, he may fumble every once in a while, but you know what you're getting out of him, and he gonna pretty much show up. And I just like the 1-2 punch him and Kamara bought for that team. So for the little bit of money that Baltimore signed him for, I would have liked to see New Orleans keep him around.
Kamara had almost 1,600 yards total, but he's still small. And, fast linebackers, which is the way of the league nowadays, they're going to, put hits on him.
Yeah.
Max Unger did them no favors retiring about 3-4 weeks ago, randomly after free agency. So it's going to be different. He's been there for a couple of years now.
Yeah, I still think the Saints going to be good, but I don't think they're going to win the division this year.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about these Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta Falcons went 7-9 last year. And truth be told, I felt like their season was over probably around week 3 or week 4. Injuries took them. It wasn't them.
Injuries took them clean out, especially the injuries on defense. Yeah.
They were 6th in offense, 28th in defense. If you're putting up 25 and you giving up 26, you're going to lose a lot of games. And I think they lost a lot of their stars by week 3 or week 4.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Devontae Freeman was down. Keanu O'Neal.
Seemed like it was another one. Corner.
It was somebody else, yeah. Safety or corner. Ricardo Allen, was it? I think he went down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now this year, I'm still trying to figure out how they're doing the mathematics because they're paying people. Still got to pay Julio. They paid Grady Jarrett this summer. They paid Deion. What's his last name?
Deion Jones.
Deion Jones. They're right there. I think their window was this year and next year. You think they got 2 years?
Yeah. As far as the money, if they can find a way to squeeze Julio in this year, then next year, of course, some other people will start to fall off, and they can make up some of that ground, aka Marcus Trufant.
Was it Freeman too?
Yeah, he's another one that's making a big dollar. I don't know what the hell they're going to do with Vic Beasley since they decided to pick up that option. So it'll be some money to free up next year. But I actually got the Falcons winning the division this year by one game.
What record?
I'm not looking right at their schedule. 10-6, 11-5.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Somewhere right around there. Like I say, it's going to be a bloodbath. I think other than probably with Tampa, and Tampa can be a trap game for Atlanta at times, especially going to Tampa. But shit, Tampa's played them good, even coming to Atlanta a couple times.
Home good, yeah. Jameson a couple years up there.
I think they pretty much basically split their division games. They may sweep Tampa, but I think Carolina and Gishaw and the Saints is definitely going to be a split. So it's going to be about how they do against those other teams outside of the division.
Dan Quinn coaching for his job, right?
Absolutely. Dan Quinn is. Yeah, he's on his last leg.
He read the first chapter of "I'm trying to save my job as a coach" playbook.
Mm-hmm.
He read that last year because he fired all his assistants.
I say, yeah.
Trying to save your job.
Yeah, when you fire the DC and you take it over the play calling, yeah, there's nobody else to look at or blame, point the finger at, but you.
Yeah, they got rid of Sark too. So you fired both of your coordinators in the same year. You're trying to save your job. So
Yeah, and they bringing Dirk Cutter back,
yeah,
and I think probably outside of when Shanahan was over there, 1 or 2 years maybe.
1 or 2.
Outside of that time, Matt Ryan's probably had his most success under Dirk, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I thought Dimitrov would have been he would have caught the L behind this shit, but he survived. So it'll be Dan Quinn. But
yeah, I think everybody got a mulligan last year because of all of the injuries.
Yep, that saved a lot of jobs last year. Grady Jarrett got paid, so we definitely gonna see. Definitely. All right, let's jump to my team, the Carolina Panthers. We went 7-9 last year. Man, I was riding high about week 6, week 7.
Yeah.
Shit was looking good, boy.
I was like 6-2, I think.
6-2. We was good. 17-point comeback on Philly in their house. What up, Canaanites? Shit was looking real good. Then
it was starting to look like what year was that? 2015.
2015.
Starting to look like 2015 again.
But then there was a Thursday night game, and we talked about it on this show. It was a measure stick game. We needed that. I think Cam's shoulder got collapsed first quarter, and our season was trash after that. So we know what happened last year. One thing that I find interesting in regards to the breakdowns and the talk about our team last year and going forward, people ain't talking about our secondary and the points they gave up. Our defense in general. It's a lot of games. We went 7-9 last year. The Seattle game, the Cleveland game, the Detroit game. It's about 3 or 4 we gave up. 1 point, maybe 3 point or less.
Right.
It was trash last year. But it's all gonna come back to Cam. And that's it. It needs to. He's the quarterback, the franchise player. You got to come back to him. It's real simple, people. If you protect your quarterback, things will be okay. You'll have a chance, at least a chance. Now, I didn't like what I saw last Thursday in regards to Cam Newton and the offensive line because the Chargers played. Cam Newton got pretty much pressured and sacked on every offensive possession in that preseason game against the Patriots. They don't have any pass rushers tonight. None. And they kicked our offensive line's ass. Kicked their ass up and down, left and right. And he got hurt. A foot sprain ain't too bad, but I don't know. I've been saying for weeks now, Cam is up in a year and a half.
Right.
And what they're paying quarterbacks right now, David Tepper does not owe him anything. Cam got a ball this year. He got a ball. Rivera's coaching for his job. Cam is playing for a contract. Now, I think we're going to go 11-5. I said it, 11-5.
Oh, well, Cam ain't got no worries if y'all go 11-5 then.
If we go 11-5, we should be good. But, people talking about, well, we don't know what's going to happen. We were 6-2 last year with the same team. And we didn't have the center. We picked up Matt Paradis from Denver. If we go 11-5, things are taken care of themselves. If we go 7-9, 6-10, it's going to be some changes in Carolina next year. Our defense is 15th last year, but it just didn't seem like we played that well on Sundays when it counted. It really didn't.
I would say y'all defense wasn't bad, but it wasn't what we used to seeing out of Carolina defense. I know Thomas Davis was kind of in and out of the lineup with was it injuries or suspensions or both?
Yeah, he was suspended the first 4 games.
Yeah.
But you remember we played the Giants last year. We won that game off a damn 62-yard field goal, but look at how Odell kicked our ass in that game. Odell did. Jarvis Landry with Baker kicked our ass.
And yeah, I know you want more out of your secondary, but I think also too that was a reflection of pass rush. Pass rush wasn't there last year.
Nope.
like it's normally been. So I don't care who you are, you can't stand back there and cover forever, especially with some of those guys that you name, like a Jarvis Landry and Odell, and some more cats. Julio is within the division, Michael Thomas within the division.
Yeah.
You can't not have a pass rush and cover those kind of cats. That division is loaded with with receiving talent. So you got to do better on that front.
You 100 with that. Our offensive line is ranked 10th allegedly. We're gonna see what happens with that. We only gave up 92 penalties in 17 games. So
okay,
we took care of the ball in that regard. It's just you got to keep Cam upright. You got to keep him upright. I think he's playing to see what happens going forward. He's playing for a contract. I don't really see which way they're going forward. We talked about it when they drafted Will Grier in the 3rd round. Looking at the preseason, that hasn't went exactly the way they wanted it to go. So,
I feel you when you say David Tepper is a new owner. New owners they don't have no ties to the old regime in no way, shape, or form. He'll be a damn fool to get rid of Cam Newton. I don't care what happened this year.
He would be a damn fool, yes.
Because otherwise, where are you going for a quarterback?
Shit.
Because you're not going to suck. You're not going to suck that much or that bad where you've got a top 5 pick and you're able to get one of the top guys. Now, yeah, they say the next class is deep, but rest assured, when you get probably to the back half of that class, it's not going to be as good as the first couple.
I agree. I guess I'm just looking at the salary money. That's the concern because once Dak sets this table, if Goff comes in after that, Cam's coming in right after them. So it might be up to $40 million, 40, 41, 42.
Right. Okay. Now, when you put it that way, I'm with you because then it can become a standoff because Cam gonna damn sure feel that he worth that money, and then front office can be like, oh no,
right?
Okay,
that's where I'm at with it. If Dak is legit holding out for 40, Cam got an MVP. Shit. Goff might come in and set the table. That's my concern. He may be like, shit, we going 79, 8-8, 9-7. Why am I handing you $40 million? We can't win the Super Bowl. That's my concern.
Market is the market.
Market is the market. You're right. And Cam puts asses in seats. But we got to see which way that goes. If he balls, he go 11-5 the way I'm saying. Curtis Samuel need to show up. DJ Moore,
I think y'all need outside of McCaffrey from last year. I think y'all some more splash plays or big, big yardage plays will definitely do y'all some good. And now that Cam's shoulder is fixed, hopefully he can get the ball down the field better than he did last year. So I think y'all gonna be straight.
Yeah, I mean he threw the ball. 67.9% of the time. That was his completion percentage. Hey man, what we're gonna see what happens. All right, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't want to run long tonight. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
We're real good. We're real good on time.
Bet. I think they're gonna be a wild card this year. Not making the playoffs, but you don't know what you're gonna get with Bruce Arians down there with James. Right. Did you know that offense was 3rd last year?
3rd in what?
Total offense.
Okay. No, I didn't know that.
All them dudes throwing them interceptions because Fitzmagic was there. They were going back and forth between him and Jameis. Bruce Arians is known to get the best out of quarterbacks. This is the now or never year, dog.
I wonder how they calculating that because if they was 1st in passing and 29th in rushing.
That don't make sense, dude. This is coming from a 4-letter network, but
Oh, okay. Yeah, you never know with them because they made up this whole QBR shit.
Yeah.
All I know is what a good number is supposed to be, but how you get to that number, your guess is good. Your guess is good as mine.
Yes, sir. But this is now or never for Jameis Winston.
Yeah. And I can see them being 1st in passing because they was always fucking losing.
Yeah.
So, but no, yeah, you're right. Tampa Bay is going to be one of them teams. I think they're going to be better than people think. Of course, it ain't. There's not a lot of talk about them right now at all, really. I've heard some good things about Jameis. I ain't really heard nothing bad coming out of their camp. But we'll see if that would definitely be good. If he can get down to about 2 22, 30. Because Jameis, he's normally up there about 240 or so.
You think he was that big?
I mean, 240 ain't really a lot of weight.
Yeah.
He's 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah.
Yeah, 240 ain't really a lot of weight. So we'll see.
Yeah. I can look at these numbers and tell you one thing. You can't put up 25 and give up 29. That shit don't work.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I'm trying to find it right now while I'm on the sheet. I know the last 2 years that their pressures and sack numbers have been very low.
They only had 28 sacks last year. That was 21st in the league.
Well, they did a little bit better than the year before, because the year before I remember pulling it and they only had they total sacks was like in the teens, at least for their defensive ends combined.
I was about to say,
it was like, yeah.
If that's the case, then Warren Sapp was completely right when he said Gerald McCoy need to shut the fuck up about your jersey getting retired.
Warren Sapp needs to shut up.
He's a sucker now, ain't he?
You know what I'm saying? He really he needs, like, dog, dog, just fall back and chill.
And he didn't
just fall back and chill.
Gerald like that. He didn't have to.
He really didn't. And I'm tired of people shitting on. I'm tired of old players shitting on current and young players, and then at the end saying shit like, he's my guy, or I really like him, or I like the player that you just shitted on him for 5 minutes, then you want to throw that in at the end, man? Fuck you.
It was 3 Hall of Famers playing with Warren Sapp, who was a Hall of Famer. I can't think of one Hall of Famer that Gerald McCoy played with. Not one.
And especially not on defense.
Hell no. So yeah, that was sucker. But that Warren Sapp been moving that way for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
Do they have
with them?
Do they have a run game to speak of yet?
Yeah.
I don't.
No. They had what's that dude's name? Jesus. They drafted Ronald
Barber?
Jones.
They had Peyton Barber or somebody, right?
Peyton Barber. Yeah, him and Ronald Jones split the carries last year, but if your offensive line is 24, ain't like they road graders that's going to sit there and open up holes. Like you said, they were behind most of the time, which means you're not running the ball. So,
but if Bruce Arians can get anything out of this team, it'll be, it'll be a plus. But it's going to start and end with Jameis. He's got to at least cut out the bullshit decision making. That's really what has hindered him from taking this team further than it should have gone.
Between him and Fitzmagic, they threw 26 interceptions last year.
That's unacceptable.
That's unacceptable when you only took 9 interceptions. That's that bullshit.
So you turn the ball over.
Time to drink a glass of Gatorade before y'all throw a pick. No time.
And people don't understand. And I wanted to bring this up. I thought about it after we finished filming the show with talking about the Chiefs.
Yeah.
People don't realize you had these, just like we were just saying that the offense going out there and giving the ball away and the defense is not getting a chance to rest.
Yeah.
If you going out there the same way a turnover is quick and not taking time off the clock, if you scoring quick all the time, that's another reason that defenses can be gassed and end up being bad, at least statistically.
That's real shit right there. That's real shit. One thing I see we did not do, we went to the end of the NFC South. Let's off season. Let's make our division predictions. We didn't do the West. So bold prediction for the West. What you got?
You said bold or the division pick?
Bold prediction.
Bold prediction. If I take us to win the division, is that bold?
Not necessarily.
I don't think so.
Well, I mean, yeah, because the Rams made the Super Bowl last year. That's kind of bold.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I'm trying to think of something else. If I do, I'll say it. But I'm gonna go with that. We're gonna take the division because I said we'll go 9-7. So I'll say we go either 10-6 or 11-5 and win the division. That's bold. I put a win total by to sweeten it up a little bit, sweeten the pot up a little bit for you.
All right, biggest disappointment. I don't really see a disappointment unless the Rams tank.
Personally, it's gonna be me if we don't win more than 6 games. That's gonna be a big disappointment, especially if Jimmy's healthy the whole time. and what have you, and the additions that we brought in with the defensive line and things, if we not challenging for a playoff spot, that's going to be a very big disappointment. Another one that I'll put out there, because nothing with the Cardinals is going to be a disappointment because they should kind of expect it. Seattle.
Yeah, I was about to say.
If they are hovering around 8-8 or less, I think that'll be a disappointment.
I'm still trying to figure out how they went 10-6 last year.
I mean, they running when you first in running because they ran their way to a lot of wins last year. They pounded that ball.
Yeah.
And then the defense, you talk about the Legion of Boom was phased out. Some of them young cats they got on defense, they came in there and played pretty solid. So they should only get better.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so you got yourself one in the division. I'm gonna go with the Rams at 10-6. Think y'all gonna battle it out.
Okay.
All right, so let's go to the South. Bold prediction. I guess it's bold for me to say we gonna win the division because ain't nobody picking us.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if you want to factor in the injuries and the uncertainty, especially with Cam's injuries, I think y'all talented enough. Though if he's healthy, I think y'all talented enough to win a division.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to go a different route with the bold prediction. Nah, I can't do that one. I was gonna say Tampa gonna win, but that ain't bold. That's just psychotic.
They ain't got enough on defense. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
Save that shit when you jump off the cliff next week with our picks.
I'll do this because I did this similar with the NFC North with some of the individual player stats. Devontae Freeman will be the best statistical running back in this division. Not Alvin Kamara or Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, that's tough. I like that.
There we go.
I like that. Disappointment. Saints.
Or if the Falcons go 7-9 or so, that'll be a real big disappointment.
Football gods ain't gonna hit them 2 years in a row. Now, if the Saints get hit, they done got hit 2 years in a row. So
they already got hit 2 years in a row.
They done got hit 2 years in a row. So I guess I just don't have as much faith in Drew Brees. Tom Brady has maintained, but I don't have faith in Drew Brees doing what they need to do. They're gonna miss Mark Ingram. They are going to miss him.
I don't. Give me an over under on games. You think Latavius Murray gonna play? That's my issue with him because he got that upright running style, which is prime for motherfuckers knocking your head off. But like you say, his ankles are very tender as well. So
ankles, hamstrings.
You should get eight to 10 games, probably what he plays.
Yeah, give or take.
Okay.
And we still don't. Who's the number 2 in New Orleans?
Number 2 receiver.
Wide receiver. Is it Ginn?
They got Funch is at in Indy.
Indy, yeah.
They signed somebody. I thought
they cut Cameron Meredith. He's gone. They
don't have anybody.
No, Jared Cook. He's the tight end, so he'll help.
Okay. I mean, he'll definitely help in the middle of the field. Let me see if I can find out real quick. Let me see if I can pull a depth chart real quick.
His hands work every other year, right?
And they worked last year, right?
They worked last year, so they're bound not to work this year. Bound not to.
I think he's gotten over his drops. He's had a couple good years, right? No, he had a good year.
He had a good year in Green Bay. He went to the
Raiders. And then a good year in Oakland.
So yeah, it's time for him to have a bad year. But so you took Atlanta. I'm taking my team, of course. I'm good with that.
Did you? What was your biggest disappointment? Yeah, Ted Ginn is number 2.
New Orleans not making the playoffs. I think it's time, man. Drew Brees. He has not shown up necessarily the way they needed him to, but they've been fucked so bad in the playoffs the last couple of years that folks look past his shortcomings.
Yeah, I think
that's the way they needed him to.
Yeah, and looking at this receiving core outside of Michael Thomas, yeah, you got Ted Ginn as his other starting receiver. Then you got the Traquan Smith cat, whoever Keith Kirkwood is,
No idea.
and Semi Cobbs and Austin Carr.
Maybe Dez shows up Thanksgiving.
Man, last time we heard from Dez about football, he said he ain't nowhere near ready to play no football.
Right. So, they paid Mike that money, but like you said, why would I put real action towards anybody else? I'm sending everything I got towards him. If
Drew Brees
supposed to happen.
Well, see, that's the thing, though. Drew Brees, he ain't falling off to the point where you can't send too many people at Michael Thomas because these other cats, even though we don't know their names or know what they really can do, they still in the NFL. And if they wide open, they're going to catch balls.
Yeah, that's true.
So
I put my number one corner and my free safety on top of him.
Bracket all day.
Yeah, I'm a bracket him. I don't believe Drew Brees can throw the ball 40 yards in the air no more. Do you?
In the air, 40? He can get 40.
Oh, dog.
That ain't far.
You like our age, though.
Now 50 or 60, pushing it.
Okay.
We're talking about in the air.
In the air.
He might have to throw that motherfucker like Matt Ryan from his knees. But he might can get it at least 50 yards.
Because he got drafted with Michael Vick. Michael Vick ain't been in the league in a long damn time.
Yeah, that's
40
true.
yards in the air. He already a small dude.
He should be able to get 40. We'll find out when it comes time for Hail Mary because the Saints normally be on some bullshit they first 3 or 4 weeks of the season.
They do.
Every year they be losing to some suckers before they finally get right. So, we'll see.
Hey, y'all better secure this shit, Saints, because if it don't work out, Sean Payton gonna be coaching the Dallas Cowboys next year.
Yeah, man. At least they getting some stadium renovations. I think starting next year.
Turn up. All right, man. We're getting off of here now, but next week we making picks. It's back.
Yeah, man. Week one is here. Like you said, the Packers and the Bears will play next week after the holiday on Thursday to open the season up. And then before you know it, we'll be sitting here like, man, how is it week 8 already?
Hey, man, shout out to you, man. We made it through. It's a long stretch, people coming up with content after the NBA Finals. It's a long stretch.
Yeah. Yeah, especially trying to do previews on these teams, and you mostly got to talk about last year, which is unless you sit down and do a book report, I don't remember half the shit that happened last year. And you try to talk about what's coming forward, and you really don't know. You just kind of guessing. So it makes for interesting content. It makes it interesting for us to go back and see where our predictions were right, where we were wrong. Due to some things in preseason games and some injuries and some retirements, I think next week when we do our picks, maybe we should do a quick run back of who we think will win the division because I need to change a couple.
That'll work.
So we'll do that next week. Before we leave, y'all, that University of Florida game from last week, that was the best, worst bullshit I've ever seen in my life.
I tried to win that game pretty much from the second half on. Really early in the second half. Early in the first half. All of the second half, they tried to lose that game.
Florida tried to lose it, and Miami unfortunately didn't have the O-line to take the game because
they couldn't do nothing with Florida.
They gave over like 10, 11 sacks.
Yeah.
That's gonna be tough with that freshman quarterback. Got to deal with that all year.
You gonna be tuning in to Oregon Auburn this weekend?
I will because I'll be with the family. Shout out to the family reunion this weekend. My people from Alabama and most of them are Auburn fans, so I'm pretty sure we'll be watching that game to some degree.
Yeah.
Is it in Dallas? Where's the game at?
I can't say.
I don't remember where it's at, but
Georgia got some suckers this weekend. So.
Yeah, we got a cupcake game this week.
And Alabama got Duke. Good job, Saban. Put up a 70 burger on Duke. Good job.
That's supposed to be their power conference, out of conference.
Right.
And I think we've talked about it a couple times before. I hate the way that they schedule college football because they scheduled that Duke game back when I think Duke was coming off a big bowl win and they was looking like their program was on the uptick. kind of like, remember a few years back when North Carolina had a good couple of years of football under what's his name? Bush Davis.
Yeah.
Yeah. And after that, it went right back to, oh yeah, that's right. These cats are a basketball school. So
we got old ass Mac Brown back, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. You put any stock in Carolina football or Duke basketball, Carolina or Duke football if you want to.
Yes, sir.
Well, hey, who knows? Daniel Jones is Hall of Famer in the preseason.
He gonna have that job week 6.
Man, we gonna see. It's just funny to me how the media all summer, all season was killing him about that pick. And he has a couple of good games in preseason against some bad vanilla defenses and what have you. And now all of a sudden, yeah, maybe they made the right pick. It's crazy how it's wishy washy.
Yeah,
what's that?
I get you on that, but everybody know Eli trash. He old.
Yeah, but is a young Daniel Jones better than the older, experienced trash Eli?
You know, we ain't gonna hear none of this shit. If Zeke don't show up week 1 and the Giants beat Dallas, we ain't gonna hear none of that Daniel Jones shit. It's all Eli. None of it. So
don't let him beat Dallas and Philly. I think they got them both early in the season.
Yeah, so we'll definitely see about that. Dwayne Haskins is sitting down. That's the right thing for you, young man.
Good.
Let Case Keenum get his ass kicked because Trent Williams ain't coming, people.
He still ain't came to work.
Y'all keep waiting on him. Trent Williams ain't coming. So
I mean, he keep telling y'all. You know, he's saying that now. Ain't no game checks missed. We'll see what happens when those game checks start getting missed, though.
Yeah.
People saying he's tuned in, you know. You got lifestyles, you got bills, you got things that need to be paid for. And if them game checks ain't coming in, it gets real ugly when you got money coming out, but you ain't got nothing coming in.
It's addition and subtraction. That's it.
You know.
Teach these kids, division, multiplication. Multiplication, yeah. But division, nah. Addition and subtraction. That shit's real. That helps you balance a textbook. And these kids don't understand that shit. Trust me, I deal with grown people every day don't understand addition and subtraction. So
damn shame. Public school system is a joke. All right, people, we appreciate y'all tuning in again. This is episode 184 of AA Sports, Straight Sports, No Chaser. We had our NFC South and NFC North, West breakdowns today. Our respective teams included in that, the San Francisco 49ers and the Carolina Panthers. Again, we will be back with y'all next week to give our week 1 picks on next Wednesday, night before the kickoff game. Yeah. Or we might go, probably go the night before the kickoff game.
Them dudes ain't gonna win that tournament, are they? FIBA starts this weekend.
Oh, does it? Oh, I told you I'm not really paying any attention to that tournament at all.
They let Patty Mills get them like 30.
I saw they beat. I saw they beat Australia one day, and then the next day they lost to them in an exhibition. So they are anything far from being a sure favorite to win gold. That's for damn sure. I was scratching my head at the sending De'Aaron Fox home. I was scratching my head at that. Now they ain't got Kuz because
he finessed them. He's like, nah, I ain't about to get on this plane. Y'all hold it down now.
Yeah, so
let's get out of here.
Yeah, they far from a sure thing to win gold. Far from a sure thing. All right, people, we appreciate y'all again. Don't forget to check out the AA Sportscast Twitter, Facebook, and IG pages. Again, watch, share those episodes on YouTube or whether it's Apple iTunes or podcast platform. Shout out to the Urban Arena crew, Get With It Sports and Glass and what's his boy name? Glass and Brandon over at Get With It Sports. Shout out to Kane and Ice, and shout out to Big Boy TV, Big Q, JB and Glass does that show as well. We're gonna get with y'all boys soon. I think right now we both record on the same night, so that's why we haven't been able to link up. But we will during the season. Y'all know how we do. That's the Urban Arena crew. Check out the Urban Arena Facebook page as well. Uncle Hate, tell these people where to reach you at on social media.
At ReK6000, holla at me. I talk sports.
All right, you can tweet me. I'm at Diego Barish on Twitter as well. We appreciate y'all. We will see y'all next week. Again, Labor Day is on Monday. Y'all have a good, safe holiday weekend. If you live in the city where Lyft or Uber is there, make sure you use them. Because if you get locked up on a holiday weekend, you ain't seeing a judge till Tuesday or Wednesday. So, hey, be smart. Don't be sitting in the holding tank saying, damn, Diego and Hate told me what to do and I didn't listen. All right, we up out of here, man. Y'all be good. Again, it's AA Sports, baby. Straight sports, no chaser. We up out of here. Peace.